Today on Recipe Reviver, we're making a classic, carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. Today's recipe comes from an unlikely source. It's actually a sort of community cookbook that was put out in 1974 by the American Businesswomen's Association that was called What's Cooking After 5 O'Clock? And this particular cookbook was put out by the Cascadia charter chapter of Jackson, Michigan. Well, we're going to start out by cracking 4 eggs, which I just did, and we're going to add to that 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, and some oil. We're going to add some baking soda, some salt, and some cinnamon. The recipe actually says at this point to add the carrots and the walnuts at the same time as all of this, but I wanted to get those spices incorporated well before I actually added in the thicker items. There's about 3 cups of shredded carrots that are going in here, and then I have a cup of walnuts that have been chopped fairly finely, and that's the last thing I'm going to add. And then we just need to put it in a pan and stick it in the oven after that. At this point, we're going to put this in the oven, and the directions are super sparse on what to do for the actual baking. It just says mix and bake, which I did. Well, I haven't done the baking yet, but that's next. So I've got an oven on at 350 because that's the temperature that seems to be the default for most cakes. And there's also other recipes for carrot cakes on the page next to this one in this cookbook, and it asks for a 350 degree oven for 40 minutes. I'm assuming that's going to be fairly similar for this one, but at about the half-hour mark, I'm going to be watching this pretty closely, just so I know that when it's done, I'll pull it out so it doesn't get overdone or underdone. Our cake is cooling, which means it's frosting time. And our frosting only has 4 ingredients in it. It has a box of confectioners or powdered sugar, and a box is a pound back in the day. And I believe you can still actually get boxes of it, but I had a bag. And so that equals about 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, which I have here. And we have 1 block or 8 ounces of cream cheese. I think that's 8 ounces, right? Yes, 8 ounces. And then it calls for half a stick of oleo. I am not a fan of oleo, so I am going to be using butter, half of a stick of butter, and then some vanilla. And we're going to mix that all together using this mixer right here. Yeah, that bowl was not working, so I'm going to transfer this over to a bigger bowl and try this again. I mean, you've got to sample it, right? Okay, that's not quite what I was expecting. It's not super sweet. It has a little bit of a savory tone to it, and I mean, obviously it's cake, so it is sweet, and the frosting is basically straight sugar. But it's not bad. It's just different. It's as I said, a little bit more on the savory tone. I really like this frosting. In fact, I could totally see myself making this frosting again. And it's got a nice texture to it. It's kind of dense, which I figured it would be because the batter was very thick. The carrots are tender and cooked throughout. And then, of course, you have the walnuts that are in there for a little bit different texture as well. And in addition, the recipe actually said to sprinkle walnuts on top, which I did off camera. But this is good. This is a recipe that I think I would tweak a little bit, that I would change some things about. I also think it has a little bit too much oil in it. That oil, you can almost taste the oil. And that's not a good thing. But this is not a bad recipe. With some tweaking, this could be a really nice carrot cake with that frosting. What do you think? Do you like carrot cake? Give this one a try and see what you think. See you next time on Recipe Reviver.